after the design has been worked out and the pieces have been cut out and felt and all the images have been pinned on carefully onto the fabric, what do we do next? Do we get our embroidery thread and go straight into embroider it? No. What we do is we need to tack everything in place, and this ensures that things don't wriggle around and run off the fabric, okay? So how do we tack? We just get a single layer of regular thread. Now remember that tacking is a temporary stitch. We're going to start in at the back, we're going to start at the top of the design, and we're going to do a little back stitch to keep it in place. We're working with a single layer of thread and then back in again. A little bit of a knot at the back, doesn't matter, okay? So we just want to secure the first stitch mostly. And then we'll just work in segments. So I'm just going to start literally with this tree segment here that runs along. Remember, if we tack it carefully, we're going to be able to take it out very easily. And what we can also do is we can just pull those pins out as we go along, one at a time. It is really worth your time and your while to tack securely before you begin the actual sewing. It's easier to sew on fabric that has no pins in it. Okay, so we just take those out as we go along. And I'm going to just finish this spine here, one piece of thread, the whole lot. Okay, just remembering that when you get to kind of double bits of thread there, we just pull it out and so on. Okay, we go to the very end. It gets a little bit more difficult to tack towards the end because we're sewing through several thicknesses, so we have to pull it through a little bit at a time. Okay, and then we could do a back stitch there as well, and we could start it again. I'll just do a little back stitch just to secure that end bit. And I would tend to do a few extra back stitches more than usual when we have several layers like this. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to work out to the side here. And go through all the layers like this, right out to the corner. And I suppose there is no real formula for tacking a piece as complicated as this. You have to just use your instinct that you're sewing things in a way that they're not going to wriggle all around. And you don't want to have the tacking too close to the edge because you don't want it to clash with where the embroidery thread is going to be. So when I get to this little point at the top, I'm actually going to do a few back stitches here on the point just to make sure that bit will stay in place. And then I can just jump the fabric out the back and do, because I'm running out of thread now, and do a little back stitch here as well. And then I've finished, okay? So I've run out of thread. So what I've done is I've started here, I've gone along the spine of the tree, along the side, then out here. So when I take up it again, I'm going to start again from the top. I'm going to work through the koala, and then I'll work through the flames. But you will need to do a back stitch, even a tacking back stitch along each of these points. And that just holds it in place so that when I go to sew it, it's not going to wriggle everywhere.